Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Kinda Latvian Podcast, episode 2 already. It's crazy. We, yeah, it was all a joke, and now here we are on episode 2.
Yeah.
A bit of background noise from some motorbikes, but hopefully you can still hear what's going on. Thank you everyone who listened or watched or commented about episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
We were kind of surprised at how many people did watch and listen, and
For sure.
and it's great to hear some feedback, and obviously learning from our mistakes. We're new at this, but
hopefully the tech's a little better this time.
yeah, we got
higher quality video maybe.
for sure. We got a little new setup here, so here we are. Leopaya this time too.
Your apartment. We're at your pad.
Crazy.
I don't know. Maybe after this you could give us a tour of the
Behind the scenes of how foreigners live in Latvia, but I think we forgot to say where we lived in episode 1.
Yep.
Which took place in Riga, in your place.
Yep.
So you live in Riga.
I live in Riga. Yeah.
What is it? 200 kilometers that separate us.
Yeah. A few hours driving. Yeah.
That's great. We've seen each other, I think, more in the past 3 weeks than we have in the past 3 years. But no, maybe that's not true. That's not true. But yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's get going. Episode 2. How are you doing, Joe? How's life? Why are you in my neck of the woods? I guess you could say.
Yeah. We're here for. I took about 2 weeks off for vacation.
Nice.
So.
Nice.
This is Anna's family comes from Kurzeme, this region. So there's a place she spent a lot of her summers, and and we have a free place to stay here, so that helps.
Perfect.
Make the decision easier. I've been staying here. We did a nice little RDA run the other day. That was good.
I think we should do an episode about that sometimes. Just the how to successfully do an RDA trip. RDA trip. Sorry.
Yeah. So that was good, and so that's why we're here. Just trying to relax, and thanks for having me on your podcast again. Appreciate that. And
you need to stop putting this on my shoulders. It's our podcast.
No, we're last episode watching it. I watched it twice, and it was clear you were driving the ship. So appreciate that.
Hey, we're all learning.
Yeah. So So how was your holidays? Midsummer, Yanni time.
It was good.
Yeah.
It's always a good time of year.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot different if it was raining, let's put it that way, but the weather worked out great this summer for the celebrations. I think it forecasted rain all the days before, and then actually, boom, hit it. It was good. I was celebrated with some friends out in the countryside. A lot of volleyball, swimming, a lot of food, good company, good talks, campfires, the whole lot. So can't complain. Although I'm a little sore, a little stiff from all the activity, but it was a good few days. A lot of good memories. How about you? How did you celebrate legal?
Yeah, so we were so Anna's family has an apartment in the city here, but then they have their countryside place in Jurmalciems. And so we were out there on Ligoa, and so tons of people, a lot of kids running around, so it was a good time. I'd say the highlight was so that was the 23rd. That night we went to the beach, had amazing time at the beach. A lot, huge waves. I hadn't seen waves that big, I think, ever here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and bathtub water, super warm, and so we had a good time jumping around in the waves. And
so you released your inner child again.
Yeah, I legitimately felt younger when I came out of the water, so that was a good time, and kids had fun being together.
Yeah.
So
good. So
yeah,
I guess that's something could quickly mention is like the midsummer tradition. They are official holidays in Latvia, and that's something that we don't have back home, and I think we'll talk about that later in a different podcast about traditions and celebrations. But it's really nice to have those kind of 2 days off in the middle of summer and enjoy summer. Basically. So
yeah, and I guess that was the other thing. Really appreciate. I know usually it's pretty overcast, rainy. Rainy, is that a word? Rainy.
Yeah.
Rainy, yeah, that's a word. Never know anymore. But that it was just sunny, warm every day. We went to the beach almost every day.
Perfect.
Last week, and that was amazing. Perfect. So yeah, it's a good time. So we're fans of Kurzeme.
Good, glad to hear it.
Would you say you're a fan of Riga, or you're still?
Riga, it's a great city, isn't it? I think European capital at some point, potentially.
I think so, yeah.
Or maybe I'm making that up, but
yeah.
No, I do like Riga. I don't know if I could live there for a long period of time.
Okay.
But to go visit, hang out, get some of the atmosphere, and it's a good city, but
you're happy where you're at.
I'm happy where I am. Liepaja is a great place. I can't complain, and maybe that is an interesting topic as well. Like Riga versus Liepaja. Joe versus Liam. Who's gonna win? But no, Liepaja is great. But it gets empty around this time of year. A lot of people go to the countryside. I guess you get that in Riga as well. A lot of people just go to their countryside places and especially for the celebrations. But so it's a little quieter here these days, but can't complain.
But and it was did you know it's Liepaja? Like you keep saying Liepaja, but it's actually Liepaja, right? You know that it's been changed officially.
Yeah, officially it has been changed.
For a lot of people I know that it's Liepaja. So
I remember we talked about that first team on the where we met, the team that you're in charge, and I think that was the leader of that team, Kevin.
Kevin, shout out. Kevin.
Shout out to Kevin if you're listening. I think he was the first person to call it Liepaja, potentially.
Probably, yeah.
I think that's where that all started, and
so
you know what?
It's stuck ever since.
10 years later, and here I am actually get to live in this beautiful city. So
so. But and thanks to those of you who sent in your ideas. We appreciate that. We've been collecting those ideas and trying to figure out what's the best way, which order to talk through them. So, if you have any other ideas, what you'd love to hear us talk about, send us a message, comment below. Liam wanted me to point, so I'll point.
Get the fingers out,
Comment below. But really, I mean, we have our own topics we're thinking to talk about, but we'd love to talk about things that you'd like to hear from our perspective. And thanks for those of you who already sent those in. So appreciate that.
I think that's something that at least a lot of you see kind of these YouTube people or these people trying to make it on podcasts, and they do say comment, follow, whatever. But I think from our point, we were saying we don't really want it to be fake. Like we are actually we made a Google Doc to put a categorized a Google Doc to put your ideas in, and we hope to answer a lot of them, and we do care about what you think. We don't just want to talk about what we want to talk about, although it's great to be able to catch up and talk about life and whatever, but we also want to hear from you guys and make it as interesting as possible to listen to.
Did you want to plug your YouTube channel again this time?
No.
You don't?
I'm not. No new content coming out of there. As of yet, but
we gotta get you. How many subscribers do you have there now? Let's get you to like 500 subscribers.
500. I'm on, I think, 87.
Wow. That's more than I thought. Congrats.
But no, it's, I don't know, probably half of them are family members, and
the counts. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
no, but I think one major thing, our topic today, we should probably introduce that. And
before that, I need to apologize about something.
Oh boy!
Oh boy! After watching last episode, I looked like an incredibly bad conversation partner. So I kept checking my watch to it's keeping. Oh, you probably can't see. Yeah, it's keeping time. So I was keeping us on track because our cameras are can only film so long.
Yeah,
so
they're limited.
So I don't know if that hurt your feelings that I kept looking at my watch, but
I thought I was talking about interesting things, but obviously it was a little boring, and
Yeah. So just to clarify, if you see me doing that, that's what I'm doing. So yeah. I hope I didn't hurt anyone's feelings with that. So. But
yeah, unfortunately, we're still pretty basic with, our setup here. Maybe we'll share some of our behind the scenes, what it looks like. But I know you can get those almost I think they're like override wires where you plug it into your camera and it actually overrides the time limit.
Oh, okay.
So then you can film unlimited, until your battery dies pretty much.
Yeah.
But obviously we're not quite ready to
our budget's not
invest in that. But if there are sponsors out there, please do get in touch. It would be, who knows where this is going to go.
Sponsors.
Let's take it. Yeah. But it was funny because we went up the other day as well, and I think it's fun to dream, and a lot of, we want to take it step by step, but we were coming up with some crazy ideas last time, doing little trips to places and doing reviews on maybe some food or cities in Latvia, or who knows where this is going to go. So
yeah,
it's good to dream. It's good to dream.
Yeah, so that, I guess that repeats if you have ideas, things you'd like us to talk about, send a message, comment, whatever, and let us know.
For sure. For sure. Love to hear.
You're a fan of your city, you want us to come see your city, let us know why we should come visit.
Yeah, that
give us a reason to make a weekend trip. So anyways,
good stuff. But today's topic, let's
open it up.
Episode 2. I think looking at all our responses from what people sent in, one of the main ones was language, the Latvian language. And it's a big topic. We discussed over lunch really what that looks like, what could be involved in there, and the content is pretty widespread. So we kind of decided to break it up into two, really kind of two main chunks, not in the one episode, but maybe we'll do the second chunk a few episodes down the line, so it's not just all about language every week. But we were thinking, this episode to look at how we started to learn Latvian and what that looked like, the challenges, just basically the process of learning a language, especially a language that, it's not spoken by a lot of people. And then the second chunk or a different episode, we're going to look at what it looks like to live in that language, and how is our day-to-day thought process, struggles, challenges living in Latvian all the time. So that's kind of where we're headed today. But today's about the beautiful Latvian language. And how is it for you, Joe? It's a interesting, not a lot of people speak Latvian. A lot of people probably don't even know it. The Latvian language exists. But do you remember the first time you heard it? What were your first impressions of the Latvian language?
Yeah, I remember. I think I mentioned last episode that I came on 4 different trips before I moved here. So I remember those trips. I would just hear it spoken all the time, and it just was it was a beautiful language and sounded amazing. And there was I couldn't ever imagine I could speak that language one day. That was kind of far off goal, but then there was after 2 months here, I'd know I don't know, handful of words, and I'd feel like I speak Latvian. I understood. Like, talk for 5 minutes. I heard like 3 words I know. I'm like, I basically speak Latvian. So
you put it on Facebook where you like language you can speak. You know, update the profile.
So after a few summers here, I was like, yeah, my Latvian's getting pretty good, and but yeah, so it's a beautiful language. It sounds nice. So how was it for you?
I'm trying to remember that actually the first time hearing it, but one thing that stood out was it did sound like a song.
Yeah.
Like it sounded like a beautiful, flow. It flowed really nicely. It sounded quite poetic. Just a really beautiful sounding language.
Yeah.
But I don't remember like anything specific. I just remember saying it. Hearing that didn't sound like any other language.
Yeah.
Like, are you a languages guy, Joe? Like, did you? No. So.
No, I mean we studied Spanish. We had to. So.
Yeah.
But don't remember any of it.
Because I always loved growing up with languages. I don't know, where I was born in Canada, it was, bilingual. Obviously, I was too young to experience that.
Yeah.
But, my mum speaks French.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, my sister also, she, back in Canada, she started learning French, whatever. Maybe, but, like, I always loved languages growing up, and high school, or school in general, you had to do language, whether that was German or French. I did a year of Spanish, and so I liked listening to different languages, but Latvian was something like
totally different.
Like I don't even know if it's in a language group or if it's in a language group on its own. I don't know. I've heard it's only similar to Lithuania, and then that's it. But so it was completely new, but I just really liked the way it sounded. And we can get into the difficulties later of it, but just the way it flowed. I think something to do with the stress mostly always been on the first syllable.
Okay.
And it somehow makes it just go nicely, but can't really It was like Chinese for me at the start. I was like, I have no idea what you're saying.
For sure.
But so it was a nice sounding language. It wasn't harsh. It wasn't kind of...
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about that actually today when I was driving. Here was like, it's an interesting whole other topic, but like in movies growing up, the bad guy was either speaking Russian or German.
Right.
In all American movies, it was like, in my generation, they were always speaking one of those two languages. And so there's something about Russian that, I don't know if it is kind of harsher language, but if there's also that like subconscious like brainwashing from the Cold War in America, that they wanted to portray Russian as like evil language, and but somehow it's to compare even German to Latvian, it just sounds so much softer and like cleaner and so anyways
but every language is beautiful in its own way, I guess. Let's
for sure
let's put that out there.
That was propaganda from American film industry, and I don't support that, but it was just, and now it's like, it's interesting, they're always now, it seems like, speaking Arabic, or so it's even like changed that whoever
that's interesting
our enemies, like as a nation, that seems like Hollywood kind of follows that and portrays that language as like kind of the bad guys or even, so anyway, sorry.
No, but that's an interesting thought, and like how a language can form a national identity. I think that's within there too. It's something that brings a language can bring people together, especially if I feel like even if the country is smaller, actually the language is even more important for that country.
Sure.
It's something they hold on, and this is our language. This is a part of who we are. And I remember how important it was to even to try to speak Latvian, and even you're saying you knew a couple words in the summer, but I think that probably got received and went a long way, because because from what I hear, what I see, what I read is actually Latvian language is something that really that people cherish over here, and even Latvians abroad, like if they get speaking, they hear other Latvians in their country or whatever, that's something that brings them together.
Yeah, for sure.
And so language is I think a big part of the culture here too.
Yeah, I think in general, when I think of what makes a culture, I think that's language is one of the first things that comes to mind, that it it gives like words to a culture, like it helps explain how people see the world. I guess maybe that's one way. The language can help people express themselves and what they experience. So that sounded a little too philosophical.
We're going deep for episode 2.
No, but I think it's hard to think of a more central thing to a culture than language. Because everything, music, holidays, everything, or relationships, it's all, you need language to have those types of things to organize a society. So
and for example, like we had a little chat before, and I think you made a really good point, as if language doesn't have those words, like certain words in it, then actually that thought or even what the meaning of that word is foreign to that country, like it, or the depth of the word doesn't go as far, and that changes the way people look at things.
And I think that I mean, we both work with young people, so we see that there's certain Russian words, English words that just kind of become adopted into Latvian that you're not a fan of.
I'm not a fan of that. Oh, that drives me crazy.
You're a purist,
Yeah, I don't know why it just it really makes me cringe a little. I don't know if it's and I find it hard because actually that word is missing in Latvian, so that's obviously why they're replacing it with English word, like excited. Like I don't know how to express that in Latvian. I've talked to a lot of people, like, how do you express that word in Latvian, and they're like, I don't know, like and then automatically it's asking tick excited, and it's like but I know it's creeping in more and more, and even making English words into Latvian verbs by adding on an ending, like even when we're talking about YouTube, like share like it's just like for to share, so it's interesting. But what are your thoughts on that? Are you
I'm not a purist, probably. Well, I've never even thought of what I am when I think, but I think each language has limitations. So, we kind of, languages grow too. So I think you kind of adopt new words. There was one for like drones, is like, for everyone used drones, but they created their own word for what a drone is.
Oh, really?
And it's a totally weird word. So there's like, I just think what's more practical, easy, I would maybe tend toward that. But maybe that's like a pathway to losing a language slowly. Like people just would drift away from speaking.
And that's interesting. Like you're saying we work with youth, and like I walk along the streets and I hear like Latvian like teenagers speaking English with each other. I've asked them why that is, and they say, okay, it is a global language or whatever you say, but a lot of them say it's also easier for them to express themselves and to say things to the end. But I hope Latvian continues to grow. Like when you think about it, how many people speak Latvian in the world? I don't know.
It's very. That was one thing that when I moved here in Riga, there's so many people speaking English, Russian, Latvian, and people did not understand why I learned Latvian. It was like, but I live in Latvia. I don't live in like America or Russia. So for me, kind of as a missionary, that was like a no-brainer. I need to learn Latvian first, even though it's terribly unstrategic. Like, when you look at where else is this language useful, it's basically only here. So, but yeah, that was kind of, to be able to communicate with people in this country, you need to start with Latvian. And
for sure.
Another goal will be starting to work on Russian, which you've done some of. Yeah.
Oh, so are you planning? That's the next.
Yeah, I think
challenge.
I need to. My neighbors, a lot of them speak Russian. A lot of people, when I'm walking on the street, they're speaking Russian. So, I would love to like at least have really
conversational.
Yeah, basic conversational level, and but I guess we're not talking about that. We're talking about Latvian language.
Yeah, Latvian this episode, but that could be a interesting chat.
But yeah, so it's. I would say there's certain words that I was thinking about that. In the Bible, there's different, at least 4 different words for love, and then in English we have love. So when you say love, I love pizza and I love my wife. It doesn't really help express the difference between that. So in that sense, like, we haven't created a new word for the difference between those two in English, but I think Latvian will has to come up with certain words, kind of.
For sure, yeah.
And I know they're doing that, so.
Oh yeah, they're creating.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah, and maybe that's a good thing to say is neither of us are experts at all on anything we're talking about.
You might want to fact check anything we say in here.
Definitely fact check.
Yeah.
Neither of us have studied language as well. You did study Russian. That's not true. Yeah.
Well.
But yeah, so we're saying this as like lay people who don't generally kind of observe but aren't experts.
No, for sure, yeah. But that's the beauty of it. I think as non-experts, normal people, to view it from a neutral perspective, I guess. But our facts may be a little iffy.
Yeah, we were looking up how many words are in Latvian and we couldn't find an answer. So, and same for English. So, anyways,
But if you know, if you know how many words are in Latvian, please do get in touch. It would be interesting to know how many we know. But you said funny story, I guess. Not funny story, but the Joe I once knew a long time ago. I think it might have been a year after we met, or it might even been the same year. Again in the bus station. I feel like a lot of our
meaningful place for us.
Yeah, a lot of our interactions happened in Riga's bus station, but for some reason you were buying bus tickets for me or whatever. Okay. And this was 10 years ago.
Okay.
So we were, and I remember standing next to you, waiting to get this ticket, and you were going to buy it for me, whatever. But I remember you looked at me and you sent me away from you, and I was like, what? You were like, yeah, go stand over there or something, and I didn't quite understand what was going on. I was like, oh, well, I want to pay for my ticket too. You can order it, whatever, or order it. You can buy the ticket. I'll pay for it, whatever.
Yeah.
But you sent me away and you wouldn't let me hear you order the bus ticket. I keep using the word order. That's not the right word.
That
order.
Works. It's good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another thing. My English has gotten so bad.
Yeah.
The longer I'm here, my grammar is just falling apart. So
that's a classic.
Warning for the foreigners of you listening. I'm sorry for my grammar, at least. I think you're still okay. But
oh no,
mine's falling apart.
The problem with my grammar is it was never okay even before coming here. Like I would talk to my family and they always laughed at me for saying the wrong thing or trying to say like a nice pretty phrase together but mixing it up. But yeah, so you sent me away from you, which I was a little confused. Later I understood that you were quite embarrassed for people to hear you speak Latvian.
For sure.
And 10 years down the line to now, on our team, on our JV team, Josiah Venture team, you have the highest level on paper for Latvian.
On paper,
C1 level.
yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're in the lead. We all aspire to be like Joe. But also I've heard from a number of people how they say from all the foreigners they know is actually you sound the most Latvian. You don't have the foreigner's accent. I
definitely do, but yeah.
But like, okay, you probably, yeah. But they say from all the people that they know, you sound the least.
Okay.
You sound the most Latvian.
Okay.
Or the least foreign, depending.
Okay.
Half cup empty.
Yeah.
Half cup full type. But yeah, so that's a big compliment from people.
Sure.
And that is so where. I think the question I was looking for there is like, where was the change from? How did you start learning?
Mm-hmm.
What and where was the change going from you couldn't speak in someone's presence to going to C1 level, and actually, is it safe to say most of your daily conversations happen in Latvian with people?
Maybe at home, yeah, but probably not. Yeah, work or yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. That's a long. I'm trying to think how to do a short version of that, but I would say when I came to Latvia, when I moved here in 2007, language wasn't a super high priority for our team.
Okay.
We were all foreigners. Our team functioned in English. We were doing a lot of English camps at that time. We had English clubs, so there wasn't like as high of an emphasis as we have now. So practically that was part of it. It just it wasn't as emphasized as like when you moved here, and so what I did, the people that were leading our team said, here's a language teacher, she's good. I didn't know any better. She was fine. She helped me with really the basics, but she was a big grammar fan. She loved Latvian grammar, and
which we all do. You come on.
I think no one does.
Yeah, definitely not. Yeah.
But so she really hit hard on grammar.
Huh.
And we were also I think we were 6 people in a class, maybe even more, maybe 8. But so we were all kind of progressing at different paces, and then so someone was really stuck on a certain part of grammar, and then we just sit there and then we wouldn't speak as much. Mm-hmm. And so I got really used to people speaking to me in Latvian, and I understood pretty quickly. And I had a few friends that from day one, they only spoke Latvian to me. I was like, I would just kind of, okay. I got 2 words out of that whole sentence. So, but that really helped me, understanding went really quick.
Yeah.
Got terrified to speak the more grammar I learned. And then most people were wanted to speak English with me.
Of course.
And so I just kind of got into a very comfortable rhythm of people could speak either English or Latvian to me, and I would understand, and then I would speak English, and they would understand me. So it's kind of a comfort zone. And I learned enough Latvian that I was like, this language is super difficult. Yeah. And then there's the reality sets in. The beginning, you're like, oh, this is amazing. I read through the dictionary, and it's like, yeah, but the endings was death and all the cases and all that. Right. So there was I was busy doing other things. It wasn't as emphasized. People wanted to practice English, and then the reality of what it would take to get to a high level speaking was it was gonna take some time and effort. So maybe that
just froze you.
Yeah, so again, I knew enough grammar to know what I was gonna spit out was wrong. Yeah. And then it's I don't want to speak. Yeah. I don't want to sound like Borat in Latvian. And yeah. Most people probably don't know who Borat is.
Oh boy. Maybe you could
Don't go there.
Okay.
So I just got very fearful, and actually and then people would say, "Why don't you speak more?" And then you feel bad, and then it's like this bad cycle of, I'm scared too. Someone makes there's the guilt that I don't speak better,
right?
And so I just kind of a downward spiral. Huh. So,
but even in that you call it spiral, but even in that time, you were always thinking, you were always picking things up from people.
Yeah.
You were still going to your classes, learning it, like your grammar classes, learning that in there, and sure. I don't know, taking notes or whatever, or picking up on words and studying at home and.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So kind of around a little bit before you moved here, then our leadership changed to where it was a Latvian couple leading our team. So Edgars and Ante were leading our team, and they, as Latvians, they definitely gave time to study Latvian, and so I was kind of off and on studying for years and years, but I didn't really progress with speaking until they said, "Joe, you have time," and to focus on that. So that's when it kind of moved on. And I also, with kids, we
I wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah.
About the kids.
So Marcus, when he was born, he spoke mostly English in the beginning. And so we wanted to really make sure he gets Latvian. He's going to go to Latvian baby school and what's it called before elementary school? Kindergarten. Yeah. So I just kind of with him, baby level language. I just started speaking a lot more with him at home.
Yeah.
And then that kind of developed. I got more comfortable. I was terrified to speak to Anna in Latvian for some reason.
Okay.
She was pretty supportive the whole time, but it was just a lot of mental kind of blocks to speaking, and so but that was like years. So you came on the team, you had some time here, but you were given a mandate. You have to learn Latvian, right?
Well, that was it was tough, whatever. I think we were asked to do at least 20 hours a week until we hit the B2 level, or get the B2 exam, which I was, thankful for. I spent a lot of time trying to work towards that. But it was nice actually coming into the country with...
you had some back...
Yeah, a little, what's it called? Background? Sure. In the language, I don't know. But so I kind of, it's hard. A lot of people ask, how long have you been learning Latvian? I don't really have an answer for them, because I remember probably when I was 16, when we came out with my family, and when Latvia really started, I think it was our second trip, when Latvia really started kind of getting into my heart more and more, and I was like, I want to start learning this language, and made some friends over here. So, every now and again we would write, on... I remember, Runājam LV. Yeah, the English version, Fright, I think it was called. Yeah. Fright. Oh, the good old times.
Oh, yeah.
So, we would write, correspond in that, and throw in some Latvian words. I would pick up little bits and pieces there, which was fun, to get the basic words.
Yeah.
And then when I realized that I was going to live there for a year after high school, I thought, okay, let's try to make the most of it.
Yeah.
And this was a bit of a crazy story. I still don't understand why or how I got away with this, but actually there's a Latvian lady in Scotland, married to a Scottish, great couple, great family, the Wilson family. Shout out to the Wilsons. I actually had a book got here. This was my first Latvian book. Colloquial.
I think so.
Colloquial. That sounds so weird. Colloquial Latvian. I think there's a newer edition now, but okay. She gave me this book just to learn.
Yeah.
From, and it really did get the basic bits and pieces down. And I went. It was my final year of high school. I went to my head teacher, and basically I asked him. I said, "Look, can I take one subject less than my fellow students.
Yeah.
And in those times when I should have that extra subject, I'll learn Latvian from this book.
Wow.
And for some reason he agreed to it. I still don't know why. There's no exam, there's nothing.
Wow.
But I was pretty committed in that time. I didn't just, go home during those hours. I would go to the library or the cafeteria, sit there, and learn from this book.
Yeah.
So that really did give me a basis to when I moved for that year. I already had bits and pieces, and I guess I think one difference I had, like, I just enjoyed trying to speak. I didn't really think a lot about grammar. Okay. So I think I always had opposite of you, where now I'm struggling with grammar things and trying to get those things right. Yeah. But at that time I was more just like get it all out.
That's the way to do it.
But it was good. And then that year, Riga is different. There's some language schools, there were some teachers, whatever. But it was hard to find that out here. I was living in Grobny at the time.
In the countryside,
in the countryside, yeah. But there was another foreigner who he was really good at Latvian, and he would meet me once a week and just have a little lesson. That really helped me, just baby steps to go forward. And then there was a little break when I went back for university, didn't really look at it that much. And then 3 years ago when I came, it was...
back at it.
Yeah, 20 hours a week until you get B2, and
you got it.
I
got
it.
B2 and like 3 times the speed I got B2.
But you got the C level now, so you got the trump card on me. So don't give me that.
But so we could probably, like, basic math. You're like 3 times as good as.
But I sound like a goofball when I speak. You sound kind of Latvian.
Oh jeez, yeah.
See what I did
that
there?
Was cute.
Sorry. Yeah, I put kind of Latvian. No, but I just sound like an ape trying to speak a language.
You don't. That's why. Yeah. So I think you and Shelby came on around the same time, and you both killed it. The language, like that. Learned it very quickly. Obviously, it wasn't easy. Yeah. And you had people breathing down your neck on getting the B2, but you both did it. So respect to you guys.
Yeah, I'm thankful because I found a good teacher out here in Liepāja too, and she didn't speak a word of English to me, and that was her thing, and she was like just Latvian all the time, and focused on writing and different aspects of the language, not just grammar, and that really pushed me to get the level. So
nice.
But it doesn't stop there. I don't think we'll ever learn it. I don't know how you feel, but I always describe it as I'm looking at a mountain, and I can never see the top of it.
Yeah.
And you take two steps forward, and then you fall a little back, and then you take a few more steps, you fall back, and it's just like.
Yeah. So I think there's I forget what it's called, something Kruger effect or something like that.
Kruger?
Dunning-Kruger. Maybe I made up the first word, but
fact check. Fact check.
Kruger. Internet, do your work, and it's the concept is like the more you know about a subject, the less you feel like you know. And so, like I said, with two months here, I was like, I'm pretty good at Latvian, but then you have no idea what you don't know, and I think it's the same. With Latvian, you feel like you're regressing, but you're aware of what you don't know and how complex it is, and so
for sure.
Yeah, you guys are killing it. So respect. Shout out to Shelby too. Proud of you. Yeah. So anyways, I think you did it the right way. That's what, if I could go back, I would just throw myself out there and speak. Yeah. Get over my ego, and then that's how kids learn the language. Sure. They babble, and then they listen a lot. I just did the listening without the babbling, and then I expected a miracle that I'd speak it. So.
But now all is good. Now all is good.
It's not all good, but it's better.
Yeah. But I think, like you said, it gets harder. The longer you're here, it gets harder to study more and more.
Sure.
Because you get to the stage where you're like, I can survive. I can make it past. But
for sure.
I think for for us anyway, it's that idea of we're not okay with mediocre.
Yeah.
But actually, we want to take it to the next level, and we want to keep on trying to challenge ourselves, and that takes discipline, and sometimes it is hard to be disciplined in language learning. But you know what, the guy in Grobenia, he always told me, it was like, you don't need to spend 4 hours a day in a book.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you get to level to get a level where you can, you know, survive. Speak normal. He said, I forget what he said, 15 minutes a day, something like 3 new words a day or something.
Yeah.
And you're done.
Yeah. Huh.
And just a concentrated short period of time, and then with that, you're just going to keep on building. Because out with that, you are speaking Latvian to other people. You're listening, you're taking it all in. But just 15 minutes of that short, you know, time, and you're sorted. But
yeah. So, and I'd say my experience has been, you joke about me having C1, but when I pictured what it would feel like to have C1 and C2, I thought like you'd be totally free.
Right.
And I don't feel that way, which is weird. That I think in America, I don't know how it is for you, you say I'm fluent in a language when it's like you're B1.
Yeah.
And then you realize like how many levels there are in a language, and
right.
So I don't at all feel fluent in Latvian, but paper says I have that.
Paper says you are.
So that's the irony is, the more you learn, the more you realize like that you don't know, and then finding the motivation. And it's also not just like, it's time and money also. It's an investment of your time and money, and
sure.
And also, years ago there was no C-level courses in that I knew of in Latvia. So now that's available, it's amazing that we can take time and
definitely. I think that's also changed. You know, is I think Latvians, like, they don't have, there's not a lot of resources to learn it. You know, for English, YouTube everywhere. You know, everything's in English. Cartoons.
Yeah.
You talk to kids, they're like, "Oh, I just watch cartoons and pick it up." And you're like, "Oh, come on." But Latvian, it is very limited.
Yeah.
I think they're starting to get going. Like, oh, people do want to learn our language, and kind of pushing it towards that. So
yeah. But do you have any like funny stories about experiences learning the language?
Funny stories.
Or embarrassing. Hopefully embarrassing.
Oh, hopefully embarrassing. I'm sure there is. It's a hard one. I don't have it overly. I've been involved with like funny stories of other people trying to speak the language, or you tell them to say something and it's just like, you know the meaning and it's not what they want to say, and that's hilarious and whatever. But for me, like, it was this little one, it's probably not even that funny, but we were driving to Riga with a friend, and we got stopped by the police. They were just doing like the random breathalyze test.
Okay.
So the guy comes to me, I was driving, rolled down the window.
In your BMW, right?
No, I was actually driving my friend's car at that time. I forget what it was.
You weren't doing like donuts and
stuff.
No,
we were law-abiding citizens. But he was looking a little shaky because he was going for an eye operation. So he had his shades on. He was looking a little rough. Okay. A little rough to wear. So and there I was, and this police car pulled me over. I was like, okay, you know, I could see he was just breathalyzing people. I was like, fine. Yeah. You know, nothing to worry about. And then, I don't know, in the UK, like, you stick the thing in your mouth. Yeah. And you blow. You put your lips around it. It's a tube, and you put it and blow. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I know what to do for a breathalyzer. I don't need to ask questions. You know, he asked for my documents. Gave him, understand, everything was fine. Actually, no, he didn't even ask for my documents. Okay. Otherwise, he would have seen my name. So he didn't do that. Yeah. He just went to breathalyze me. Yeah. So me being like, okay, I know what to do. I tried to put this thing in my mouth. Yeah. Which, you know, in Latvia, they have these new ones where you just need to blow on it. You don't actually put it. So I'm trying to eat this tube. And he's like, he pulls it away. He's like, you know, what are you doing? I'm
this
like,
guy is drunk. He's thinking you're
well,
drunk.
that's the first thing. I'm like, he thinks, what's going on? He's trying to stick this whole thing in his mouth. And my friend starts laughing, and I'm like, oh, sorry, I try to say in Latvian, sorry, what to do. He's like, sorry. Oh, just blow on it. Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
But that's my Canadian coming out. But in Latvian, so everything's still fine.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, blow, 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 or whatever. So I, did it. Obviously negative.
Yeah.
But because my Latvian, when I get nervous, also my Latvian goes all over the place.
Sure. Yeah.
And he was like, oh, have you been drinking? I was like, I kind of stuttered it out like, no, I haven't been drinking.
Yeah.
I sounded like,
suspicious.
I'll tell you after. Suspicious.
Yeah.
And he was like, have you been taking any,
drugs
or anything? Like, no. And like, everything's fine. And then he's like, wait, are you, Latvian? I was like, no, I'm English.
Yeah.
And then the policeman just starts laughing. He's like, oh, in that case, go, you're fine, everything's fine, I thought you were Latvian and all this stuff. It was just kind of, I was talking to my friend after, he was like, Liam, you sounded like a monkey trying to speak the language. He was like, he says like, ooh, ah, like, I was just so nervous I couldn't string a sentence together. I guess that was kind of funny, but thankfully everything ended well, and it was just kind of the funny reaction of, oh, you're English, everything's clear,
you
on
can
your
go.
way. Yeah, but how about you? Do you have any?
Yeah, the only one I can think, I'm sure I've said plenty of stupid things.
Yeah.
But most of them I probably didn't even realize I was saying. But I'm a fan of like pastries. I don't know if do you like pastries here?
Oh,
I
man.
could eat them.
They're my dirty pleasure.
Yeah. So we have a pastry place by our apartment, and I used to go there years and years ago. Martina Bakery.
I think I've been there.
Yeah.
I think I've been there, yeah.
They're the best.
Yeah.
Like, shout out to Martina. And I would go in and I'd order these like pastries and spack pastries and so order, and they're always like, give me a weird look, and I was like, I know my Latvian's not perfect, but I was like, I thought it was right.
Yeah.
And then a few months ago, I want to say, maybe sometime not long ago, I realized it's spec. Spec, and it was like, for years I've been ordering spack, like power. I thought like there's meat in there, it's a powerful pizza, but it's like, no, it's spec.
Boy.
And then I went back and I felt like, wow, these poor ladies for years have been listening to me order spack, piradzi, and
they're like, we don't have any of those here.
They would always like look back and then look at me, and I was like, but it's like written there, but I missed the little chip,
man,
which
is a hard sound anyway,
for sure. Yeah,
but that's funny. So you were ordering.
I was ordering power pastries.
Pastry, Power Puff pastries. Do you know the Powerpuff Girls?
No.
A little cartoon like.
Yeah.
And puff pastry.
Okay.
This could be a new pastry. Joe's Powerpuff pastries.
I doubt it.
Wow.
So that was kind of, it was like, I just started sweating when I realized I've been doing that for so many years. Like years. I've been going to the same place and ordering power pastries.
Wow.
So.
But did they always figure it out? Like, or did you get some
they
random...
would like maybe point at it.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And they obviously knew I was a foreigner, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and spets, that's like meat, kind of, how would you describe it? It's like kind of
pig fat.
Yeah, pig fat.
I think,
inside a little pastry, like croissant-ish.
Oh,
they're amazing. Yeah, little ones. So that was the only one that I could remember. Just kind of embarrassing moment. So
I wonder if anyone like I don't remember it, but I wonder if anyone we know could remember some funny stories with us. That'd be interesting, because it's hard, to remember everything. Like, there's obviously times where you can just, when you're translating for people, you can mess around and say anything you want. But but it's you were talking about English earlier.
No.
And I think someone wrote that in and was like, is it hard to speak or learn Latvian when everyone wants to speak English with you?
Yes, it is very hard.
Next question. Done.
Extremely. So that, we were talking about that before. I think Latvians are very polite. They want to help. They also want to practice their English, which totally understand that. You have exams and all that. So, but it, like, in a long term, if someone's going to be here long term, like, giving them the space and time and patience to like practice their Latvian's big help. And I had people that offered. I didn't take advantage of it. So, and at the same time, you kind of want to help the teenagers like speak English. Of
course.
So it's like,
yeah.
It's like a nice excuse to not try to speak.
Yeah.
They want to practice, so it's like, yeah, okay, I'll help you out. And I had a roommate that was like, I would pay his rent, he would help me with Latvian, and it just, it always felt super awkward to like speak, because his English was like phenomenal. Yeah. And we lived together, and it's always just like awkward. Okay, now I'm gonna like talk like I'm a 3-year-old with a camera just went out. Yeah. Like I'm a 3-year-old that we're going lots of stuff going on now.
That's all right.
So it's been challenging, and my language, the best language teacher I've ever had is Inta. She teaches at Latvian University, and she mentioned that when the Soviet Union collapsed, that Estonians said, if you live in Estonia, you speak Estonian, and that was kind of not a rule or law, but that most of those people who had moved there during the Soviet Union learned Estonian, whereas in Riga you don't need Latvian. You can everyone speaks Russian or English, and so that was an interesting thought. Is that kind of a nice gesture actually may not in the end help people, and anyways, what do you think? How's it been with English speaking?
It's been it's strange. There's some people who are just like who can't speak Latvian to you. They're just they in their heads, you're a foreigner, English. Yeah. And I've kind of realized who those people are, accepted that, whatever. Let's move forward. But I think in general, there's times when you do have to. I think, like you said, the politeness of Latvians, they hear that you're trying to say something that's not quite right, and they think, oh, let's help this guy out, let's switch to English. Yeah. And there's that automatic response. And also because they don't know who you are or what what you know, or your background, or for you that you have C1 level in your wallet. But like, you not carry the, no. Okay. Do you? You carry it. Just in case. Just in case. Nice. But so obviously they think, oh, potential tourists just trying to be polite, speak the language. Let's make it easier for everyone and switch to English, which is fine. But in those cases, I try to really just stick to Latvian, don't switch. Yeah. And then they usually do switch back. Yeah. But yeah, some of the youth, like it's easier for them to speak English to me. Yeah. But I think one big thing is just the patience of Latvians who are ready to speak Latvian with you is phenomenal. Phenomenal. Yeah. And that's I'm thankful for that, because it's probably painful to hear us murdering their language. Sure. Yeah. And but they're ready to stick at it. They help you. They point out your mistakes. And they move forward. But the English, what was I going to say there? The English side of it is, I think the fact that we're I think a lot of foreigners, maybe not a lot, but English is everywhere. Yeah. I think a lot of people take advantage of that. Mm-hmm. But it's funny even to see how the reactions of Latvians towards us change when you speak Latvian. Yep. It's almost as, okay, you're one of us now. For sure. Yeah. Or at least you're trying, you're one of us, and that goes back to the national identity. But I remember one time I was working in a shop, a clothes store in Scotland. Mm-hmm. And I heard some Latvians come in, and you know, I go up to them, see if they need help, and I address them in Latvian.
Yeah.
And their whole persona changed.
Yeah.
Their whole kind of attitude, their whole way they talk with me changed, and
Yeah.
and it's similar here in Latvia. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's there's a respect of, okay,
Mm-hmm.
you're at least trying, and I think that's so important for foreigners to
Yeah.
fully adapt into the culture. You have to
Yeah.
learn the language.
Yeah, you're really limited in relationships if you can't at least do basic. Yeah. So, and I've seen that. I've had friends who learned the language really well. They had no problem making friends. See guys who, you know, have struggled and made the effort. They have no problem making friends. But it seems like the people who don't learn the language, they don't. Oh, we're way over. Yeah, they don't. It's harder to build relationships here, and so yeah. Long term, it's not super helpful. So yeah, and I remembered another funny story. It's kind of not about Latvian, but it kind of is. That we have so many teams come every summer, right?
Yeah.
And they, I don't know, 3 summers in a row, you know, we'd go and meet them at the airport, or we'd go out to eat with them or something like that when they arrived. American teams, Scottish teams, people from the UK, and we'd sit and talk, and they'd say, "Man, Joe, your English is so good." First few times was like, I didn't even register, like, what are they talking about? And we had an intern who lived here, and she's like, "Yeah, Joe, your English is so good. Where did you learn?" What? And so I have an accent in English now, which is,
Oh yeah?
Yeah. And many people have said that. So that's an interesting thing to think about, is how, one is my English has gotten worse, but I've somehow had an accent now. And it wasn't that one girl. It was like teams of people would say, "Oh, we thought you were Latvian. You just had good English." And it's like, no, I'm born and raised English speaker. And but almost every summer there's someone that says something like that.
But do you think that's like to do with your intonation, or the way, like we were talking about, maybe like Latvians almost all stress is on the first syllable for most words?
Maybe.
Which I find that really hard to do in Latvian, because I just put the stress, you know, wherever.
Yeah.
And, but maybe that's something they
hear
when you speak.
That.
Yeah.
I know I say no a lot. I say no.
Yeah.
And there's certain, like, those types of things that
like even when you speak English, you say
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I heard myself all the time in America. I'm like, but I don't know how to just like stop saying it. It's such a habit. So maybe it's
multiple language problems there. It's a classic foreigners. They always like, oh yeah, flex with the language.
No,
like,
the word "no," I really know the language well, that I say or whatever that translates to. But so I think it was a combination, a little bit of an accent, maybe intonation, and then the "no" every 3 seconds was probably like, this guy's not a native speaker. So
that's pretty funny.
Anyways, it's a journey.
Yeah, it is. One that's not ended, and
yeah,
it's funny. Like it's a difficult language. I think, you know, the next episode we might look at even, you know, what's been the hardest things for us to learn, and whether the sounds or the grammar, like whatever.
Yeah.
But
so your goal is C1, right?
I would like to.
Yeah.
You're my inspiration. I would like to get to C1.
We had a girl in our class who got C2. She was
really?
from China and like crushed it. So it's like, for me that was good. Like, don't settle, and like good.
I think there is a healthy kind of competition.
Yeah.
If you have that going, and you're like, not in an unhealthy way, but kind of, okay, this person can do it, or I want to be. I don't want to be speaking, you know, like the way I'm speaking right now for the rest of my life. I want to,
sure.
You know, there is that kind of healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're my. I want to try to catch you, Joe. That's my.
You're gonna beat me on this pace. You're gonna crush me. And you can teach me Latvian down the road. No. Will you do that? Will you say in front of everyone? When you get C2, you can tutor me. Yeah.
No. Don't even start. It's funny though, because when you hear other foreigners, I don't know if you have this, when you hear other foreigners speaking Latvian, you always start correcting them in your head.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, he said that wrong. Oh, that was the wrong ending, and it's frustrating because like you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But it's automatic that you're, as foreigners, as multiple foreigners speaking Latvian, you're automatically trying to hear where they're at, what they know, what they don't know, and.
So what are do you know my mistakes that I make?
You're just perfect. Yeah, no mistakes.
Shelby was saying she hears my mistakes, and that's interesting that I have certain things I always make the same mistakes.
Oh yeah. It gets ingrained in you, doesn't it?
Yeah. But anyways, so you can correct me if you want. Feel
likewise. And actually, for Latvians, I don't know how you found, but I find a healthy amount of correction is great.
Yeah.
Like if Latvians hear I make the same mistake over and over again, say it. There's other things that's like,
it becomes unhelpful after a while.
Yeah, or it's basic things that is right. It's just because you're trying to speak quicker, and it just comes out wrong. It's like, okay. Yeah. But usually I know that, but.
Yeah, I would say Latvians ask if people want correction, and then if they say yes, like. Yeah. Help them out. Like that's. But I think there's a line where like if they're like me, they'll overanalyze and they'll get frozen and won't want to speak in front of you. So maybe, but you're not like that. Go for it.
Just go for it. Yeah, correct me, please. I need it. I need the challenge. But anyway, wow, we've talked. Yeah, this was a longer one, so we're coming up on way too long. So, anyways, thanks for listening. Hope there was something there that was interesting to you. Again, we're open to if you'd like to have new topics, if you want to hear more about certain things we talked about, comment, subscribe to his YouTube channel, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Forget my YouTube channel. Just what was it? Gas station bathroom productions, right? Where did the bathroom come? Bathroom, gas station bathroom. Gas station bathroom productions. Probably don't look that one up, but subscribe on YouTube. It would help get it more people seeing it, and it's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, a bunch of other places. Instagram, get in there, follow. Yeah. What else? I think you hit. I think you hit everything. That was. And if you haven't listened to episode 1, feel free to check that out. And basically, we talked more about what the podcast is and what that looks like and who we are. So feel free to check that out. Yeah, I'd say too, if you have any foreigner friends who that might be interested in hearing another foreigner perspective, like share it with them. We'd love to connect with them. So yeah. All right. Takes home, Captain. I thought you were doing the outro. We agreed that you were doing it. You're the influencer. Well, how do we? So thank you for watching, listening even. Thank you for watching, listening. Yeah. Stay kind of Latvian. Let's stay kind of Latvian. And you just be kinder. You just gonna copy it. Okay. I'm following. No, that was captain. Good. Say that again. You're captain. Okay. So, thank you for listening and watching. Thank you for listening and watching. Stay kind of Latvian. Stay kind of Latvian. Until next time. Yep. Thanks for watching. Bye. All right. Bye-bye.